At 36 years old, he beat Trinidad's most powerful politician and became a cabinet minister in 4 days. Then 5 years later his own party kicked him out in the most brutal way possible. Hit subscribe because Randall Mitchell's story will shock you. Randall Seth Mitchell was born on January 10, 1979, in San Fernando, Trinidad's second biggest city. He grew up in Cacoya with his parents and 3 brothers. From the start, Mitchell wanted to be somebody. He went to San Fernando Boys RC School for elementary. Then he got into Presentation College, one of the best high schools in the country. At Presentation, Mitchell was not just smart. He played football and badminton. He was competitive in everything. He wanted to win at sports, at school, at life. After high school, Mitchell left Trinidad to study law. He went to the University of London and got his Bachelor of Laws in 2007. Then he went to the University of Northumbria in England for his Master of Laws. He was one of the top students. He won the Buchanan Prize for being the best student in his class. After becoming a lawyer in England and Trinidad, Mitchell came home ready to conquer the world. But being a lawyer was not enough for him. He wanted power. He wanted to change things. He wanted to be in charge. Mitchell started getting involved in San Fernando East. He went to community meetings. He helped people with problems. He was building relationships and making connections. At the same time, he kept studying. In 2017, he finished a business degree with top marks from the University of the West Indies. Mitchell was collecting degrees like trophies. He looked perfect on paper, smart, educated, ambitious. And in 2015, he got the chance of a lifetime. In September 2015, a young lawyer named Randall Mitchell did something nobody thought was possible. He won the seat of San Fernando East. This was not just any seat. This was the political kingdom of Patrick Manning, who had held it for 44 straight years. Manning had been prime minister twice. He was a legend. And suddenly, this unknown 36-year-old lawyer took his place. 4 days later, the prime minister made Mitchell a cabinet minister. 4 days. Most politicians spend decades trying to reach that level. Mitchell got there in less than a week. Within months, he got an even bigger job as Minister of Housing. He was rising so fast that people thought he would be the next prime minister. Then everything fell apart. By 2020, Mitchell lost his seat. His own party rejected him, and Patrick Manning's son took over the seat that Mitchell thought was his forever. This is the story of what happened to Randall Mitchell, how he rose like a rocket and crashed like a meteor, and what he is doing now to survive. Patrick Manning had been the Member of Parliament for San Fernando East since 1971. 44 years. That is longer than most people work their entire lives. He had been Prime Minister. He was a giant. But by 2015, Manning was getting old and sick. The People's National Movement, the PM Party, needed someone new for San Fernando East, and they shocked everyone by choosing Randall Mitchell. Mitchell was young and unknown. He had never been in politics before. Many of Manning's loyal supporters were angry. They thought Mitchell did not deserve the seat. They wanted someone who had worked with Manning for years. But the party bosses picked Mitchell anyway. Mitchell won the September 7, 2015 election. He became the MP for San Fernando East. The PM won the national election too. Prime Minister Keith Rowley started picking his cabinet. And on September 11, 2015, just 4 days after winning, Mitchell became Minister of Public Administration. 4 days. He went from unknown lawyer to one of the most powerful people in the country in 96 hours. He was 36 years old and suddenly in charge of the entire government administration. It was an incredible rise, but it did not last. In March 2016, just 6 months later, Rowley moved him to Minister of Housing and Urban Development. This was an even bigger job. Housing affects everyone. Every person wants a home. Every family has housing problems. Mitchell was now responsible for building houses, giving out land, and fixing housing problems across the whole country. It was one of the most visible jobs in government, and Mitchell was about to learn that visibility cuts both ways. In July 2016, everything started going wrong. Mitchell was talking to reporters when a woman named Mary Peria interrupted him. Peria said she had been living in the hospital and desperately needed a house. Mitchell got annoyed. He made a loud sucking sound with his teeth. In Trinidad, this is called a steups. It is a rude gesture that shows contempt or dismissal. The cameras caught it all. The video went viral immediately. The whole country saw the Minister of Housing being rude to a homeless woman. The reaction was brutal. Think about the optics. Here was the man in charge of giving people homes, and he was dismissing a homeless woman with a rude gesture on camera. People were furious. Mitchell apologized and said he would help Mary Peria, but nothing happened. She never got help, and Mitchell's reputation was destroyed. People started saying he was thin-skinned, arrogant, and bad with people. They said he had the degrees but not the heart. He looked good on paper but failed when dealing with real suffering. The Steups incident became the symbol of everything wrong with Mitchell. Then in September 2016, another scandal hit. Police stopped Mitchell for speeding on the highway. He was driving a gray BMW on his way to Parliament around lunchtime. Officers told him he was going over the speed limit. Mitchell got upset. Sources in the police said he threw a tantrum and insisted he had not broken any law. Then someone close to Mitchell allegedly called senior police officers to complain about the ticket. The implication was clear. Mitchell thought his position as minister meant he was above the law. He thought he should not have to follow the same rules as everyone else. Mitchell eventually paid the $1,000 fine. He told reporters that no one is above the law, not even ministers. But the damage was done. Combined with the Steups incident, Mitchell now looked arrogant, entitled, and out of touch. People said he thought he was better than ordinary citizens. And this was less than a year into his first term. The man who rose in 4 days was falling fast. Behind the scenes, things were even worse. Prime Minister Rowley was not happy with Mitchell's performance. Reports from San Fernando East were bad. The old Manning supporters who had been skeptical from the beginning were now openly hostile. They said Mitchell was not connecting with people. He was not delivering results. He was not showing them respect. Mitchell had been given San Fernando East without earning it. And now the people who really ran things in that area were turning against him. In 2018, Rowley moved Mitchell again, this time to Minister of Tourism. Everyone knew what this meant. Tourism is a smaller job than housing. It was a demotion. Mitchell had been pushed down the ladder, and everyone could see it. He stayed in tourism until 2020, and that is when his political career really ended. By 2020, it was obvious that Mitchell would not be the PM candidate for San Fernando East again. The party screening committee made their decision. They chose Brian Manning, Patrick Manning's son. Think about how brutal that was. Mitchell had replaced the father in 2015. Now, the son was replacing him in 2020. The Manning family was back, and Mitchell was out. On May 19, 2020, Mitchell put out a statement. He congratulated Brian Manning and wished him success. He thanked Prime Minister Rowley for giving him the opportunity in 2015. He said serving San Fernando East had been the privilege and honor of a lifetime. Then he said something that showed his pain. Even as I move on to life's next adventure, you can depend on my commitment to San Fernando East. I remain one of you, serving you. I love you and I thank you. One love, San Fernando East. The statement was polite, but everyone could hear the heartbreak underneath. Mitchell was devastated. His own party had rejected him after just one term. He was 36 when he got the seat. He was 41 when he lost it. 5 years. That is all it took for his dream to die. He did not run in the 2020 election. His Timbit Mitchell's career was not completely finished. On August 19, 2020, Prime Minister Rowley made him a senator and Minister of Tourism, Culture, and the Arts. Mitchell was now in the Senate, not the House of Representatives. He was no longer elected by anyone. He was appointed by the Prime Minister. He served at the pleasure of the boss. If Rowley wanted to fire him tomorrow, he could. Mitchell had no power base, no constituency, no voters who owed him loyalty. He was completely dependent on Rowley's goodwill. He as MP for San Fernando East was over. As Minister of Tourism, Culture, and the Arts, Mitchell keeps a much lower profile now. He deals with tourism policy, cultural programs, and arts development. It is important work, but it is nothing like what he had in 2015 and 2016 when people thought he was the next big thing. Mitchell is now 46 years old. He is still a cabinet minister. He still has some power, but the path of his career has completely changed. He went from rising star to cautionary tale in 5 short years. So what really happened to Randall Mitchell? He rose too fast. He got too much responsibility too soon without building the political support to survive mistakes. The Steups incident and the speeding ticket showed character problems that might have been forgiven in someone with deeper roots. But Mitchell was an outsider in a place that valued loyalty and history. He never won over Manning's old supporters. He never convinced the prime minister he had the right temperament. And when the party had to choose in 2020, they chose the Manning name over Mitchell's degrees. Mitchell's story teaches an important lesson. In politics, it is not just about being smart, it is about relationships. It is about earning loyalty. It is about connecting with regular people. Mitchell had the education, but not the common touch. He had the ambition, but not the patience. He had the credentials, but not the temperament. And when problems came, when scandals hit, when people turned against him, he did not have the deep support necessary to survive. Today, Mitchell is still senator and minister of tourism, culture, and the arts. He goes to cabinet meetings. He develops policy. He represents Trinidad at international conferences. He is still in the game. He is still relevant. But he will always be remembered as the man who replaced Patrick Manning and then lost the seat to Manning's son. The man who became a cabinet minister in 4 days and lost everything in 5 years. The man whose career shows that in politics, where you come from matters more than what degrees you have. Mitchell learned the hard way about how brutal politics can be. And while he is still standing, still working, still contributing, he will never again reach the heights he touched when he was 36 and the world seemed full of possibilities. That is what happened to Randall Mitchell. A rise so fast it seemed like destiny. A fall so hard it crushed all those dreams. And now, a career spent in the shadow of what might have been.